Hey, what's going on, guys? XpertFusion here, and welcome to my Telltale The Walking Dead TV adaptation series. This is Season 3, Episode 3, which is titled Obey. So let's just hop right into it. I don't want to waste any of your time. The episode begins with all the groups at work doing their jobs as Dave steals 2 walkie-talkies from the armory without anyone seeing him. He's obviously going through with the plan that Vince wanted him to do. He goes to the courtyard and gives one to Vince as he is cleaning up the place with Shell. Enrique goes to Carver's office to deliver a message to him about their lack of food in the kitchen and they kind of need more supplies, and Carver tells him to figure it out on his own because he's got bigger things to worry about right now. Enrique tells him that they need more people to do things like go on supply runs, and Enrique says that he should probably just let those prisoners go. They could get more jobs done if they're all together working without forcing them to do labor that's only within the community itself and not outside the walls. And Carver says all of them would escape and run away. That will not work. They will not follow my orders. They will not listen and obey. Enrique says, not if you treated them like human beings, or at least tried to. Carver is automatically feeling insulted by Enrique as he goes up to Enrique and gets into his face. Carver says if he has a problem with how they do things here, he needs to speak up and tell him right now. Enrique says he doesn't, but he asks why Reggie had to die though. And Carver says because he disobeyed me. Carver says all you have to do in order to live by my ways is to just obey. Sawyer goes to check on the cells and he sees that Roman's cell is wide open, but Kenny is still held up in the torture room, locked in there tight. Sawyer runs to Carver to alert him. Carver, Troy, Lilly, Chris, and some others hold a meeting in Carver's office where they discuss what happened and what the hell they got to do about it. Enrique goes to Vince and Shell, and he tells them that he let Roman free, which will in return get more guards off their post who will likely go looking for him. This is obviously going to help them out. So that means Enrique did let Roman out. He said he tried to get Kenny out, but his room was locked tight with keys he didn't have, so he can only get Roman out. Vince and Shell relay the news to everyone when they all return to the pen for lunch break. Irene brings in lunch for all of them as the meeting in Carver's office continues. Their meeting includes Carver sending out some guards to look for Roman nearby, but he tells them not to go too far. Chris takes 5 or so guys into a truck as they head out. Vince and Dave test the walkie-talkie out, and it seems to work just fine. The group then goes over the plan while eating their lunch. The plan is as follows, and we see this plan heading into motion. Vince stays connected with Dave the whole time on the walkie, and he also stole the guard post plans from the armory, so he's able to see exactly who is on what post at what time, and he's able to check out and see what's going on with these different guards to make sure they're clear. He'll let Vince know every possible location of the guards during the time they decide to escape. This is all pre-planning phase. This isn't the actual plan itself in motion. Vince, Shell, and Bonnie will stay in the pen since they aren't going for any work that day anyways. They're kind of on a break sort of a deal. That's how their schedule works. Some people are on break at certain times, and they just get to stay in the pen. Wyatt and Tavia are still sharpening the melee weapons within that section of the warehouse that they were in last episode, or was the premiere, I believe, actually. As Omid, Aaron, Tyler, and Darius fill up weapons with bullets, Omid takes a Glock without anyone seeing, and he hides it with, of course, a magazine of ammo, so he's fully loaded. Clem and Sarah continue work in the greenhouse as Clem takes a pair of small clippers. This isn't part of the plan, but she wants them just in case something happens and she needs to use them. Rebecca goes to see Carver in his office. She tells him that she kind of misses him a little bit. And Carver grabs a knife and puts it to her throat and says she isn't stupid. She's going to try to seduce him, wait for her moment to kill him. He goes on a tangent about being upset with all this work he has on his plate and responsibilities. Rebecca says, why would you even put the knife up to my throat if I know you're not going to do it? Rebecca is talking to him while she's looking around the room to kind of look for these loudspeakers and make sure she knows exactly where they are. She's also looking for keys because she needs his keys, but she doesn't really succeed in this mission. Sarita, Molly, Nick, Billy, Ron, and Alvin are all constructing bullets in the factory led by Troy. Ron asks Troy about how they knew how to make bullets like this, and Troy says one of their men who died a while back was very intelligent, gave him a full recipe for it. Nick and Molly talk a little. Nick says he doesn't want to get attached to anyone right now. He isn't trying to get too attached. That's why he doesn't want to have this relationship at all, really. And she kind of understands what he's talking about. He says it's a bad time anyways, to be completely honest. The group all finish their work and make it back to the pen together for dinner and discuss the final steps of their plan. Rebecca says she didn't get the keys. There was no opportunity to grab them. This ruins their main part of the plan at this point, so Vince walkies Dave and asks if he can somehow let them out, and Dave says they never take the guards off their posts, so that's a big no-no. It's about 4 p.m. right now, so the sun is still out, but it will be setting soon. Lilly goes to check on Kenny within the cells, and she brings him some food, as Kenny is just sitting there with bandages wrapped around his head, of course covering his eye. He tells Lilly that she's on the wrong side, and she knows it. Kenny says it's not too late to help them get out, help them escape. He says she knows what Carver is capable of, and what he will do. Lilly tells him to stop it as she leaves, and she's kind of just thinking about this whole situation as she walks out. She's really, really debating everything in her mind right now, and it's definitely conflicting with her emotions. But she then heads outside to go sit with Troy, and they're about to eat dinner, pretty much. Of course, they just get dinner sent to their pen. They don't go to the dining room like they used to. Troy and Lilly relax outside while looking off into the distance, and Troy tells Lilly these prisoners are just making everything harder. He says they should just kill them all. While they're sitting here enjoying the distance, they suddenly hear a noise coming from the distance. They look up, and it sounds like a helicopter. And out of the trees comes a big military-style helicopter full with missiles, and attached to it is a giant crate attached to it with a chain. Troy quickly walkies Carver and alerts him as the helicopter gets closer to the camp. Troy raises his AK-47 and says he should just drop them. They get to cover as the helicopter hovers above the gates and drops the whole crate right onto the front gate. Troy fires back at the helicopter as it flies away. This crate is now right in front of them. It just crushed down the crate, but the helicopter left. The army, all the guards, come all geared up and aims at the crate. Troy tells everyone to stay back as Troy slowly walks up to the crate with his gun up. He sees a note on the crate attached to a wire that goes through the crate in the inside. He takes the note off the wire and the note reads, "You're fucked." And inside of the crate lies a bomb that is now ticking because of removing the note from the wire. The crate is also filled with walkers. Troy yells, "Run!" as the opening to the crate explodes and knocks back a ton of the guards. Troy lays on the ground as he looks down and he sees that his leg is missing. His leg has blown off and is laying right next to him. He looks over to the side and he sees another man, one of the guards, laying on the floor, missing both his legs and one arm. The walkers come from the smoke of the blast and start coming towards everyone, basically, and it is the most frightening thing you'll see. And Troy tries to crawl away as he sees his friend being eaten alive next to him since he can't crawl away, obviously. The group in the pen hear this explosion and are curious, so they walkie Dave. Dave goes to the mayhem and sees the army shooting back and trying to fight off the walkers. They kill all the walkers successfully because there wasn't too many of them, as Carver gets Troy to the infirmary quickly to patch up his leg. Carlos and Bonnie are stuck with the task of stopping the bleeding of Troy, as well as amputating 2 arms of 2 guards that were bitten during this attack. Lilly stays outside as she sees the helicopter come back, but this time she notices the missiles are aiming downwards towards the goddamn place. She yells at everyone to get inside as the missiles come firing down at the gates, about 4 of them, blowing up the main entrance to the lobby of the building. The whole main lobby is destroyed, and the floor is shaking around the entire area. Even those in the pen feel it. Even Kenny down in the cells feels this shaking. Carver quickly runs back outside as the group get guns ready. Even the citizens carry firearms. Carver says he wants everyone armed. They need to be able to fight back. Carver falls back into the inside of the building, and the helicopter leaves after firing these missiles. Lily is stuck under some rubble, but she gets out and she notices some of her friends completely bloodied up and dead. She gets out of the rubble and goes back into the building to look for Carver. Carlos and Bonnie attempt to help their patients more, but one of them died from losing too much blood. Troy is Carlos's main priority right now, as he seems like he might make it. Sarah is crying in fear because her dad is still out there. Clem says if they are dealing with an attack right now, then this is the perfect time for Dave to do something. Vince walkies Dave and tells him to check on those keys now in Carver's office. Dave sneaks through the place and goes into Carver's office. He grabs the keys, but hears someone coming, so he hides under Carver's desk. Carver walks into the room, and he's visibly frustrated. He grabs a drink of whiskey real quick and then grabs a revolver and leaves. Dave grabs the keys and quickly puts a disc of shopping music into the loudspeakers and blasts them. The music speakers are even outside and plays the music loud. Carver notices this and freaks out and returns to his room, but he notices no one is in there. Dave is running down the hallway as he bumps into Lilly. Lilly sees the keys that he has. Lilly asks what he's doing, as Dave says he's honest with it. He says he's letting the prisoners go. Lilly does the right thing here and says to just go. She says that she'll just pretend she didn't see him. And Dave says thank you as he goes. He's surprised by this, but he keeps going. He makes it near the gates of the pen, of course, as he is suddenly shot in the back of the shoulder. We see Carver coming from the corner, and he comes up holding the revolver to Dave and lifts him up. Those in the pen can see what's happening, and Carver is ready to shoot Dave in the head. But before he's able to do it, another missile is shot at the place and causes a massive explosion in the front. More people get blown up and killed. Carver and his army go outside. Lilly follows. A bunch of trucks, 2 helicopters, trucks with turrets all line up in front of Howe's. Carver's army get their guns set up on the walls and alongside the rubble from the building's destruction in the front. Carver is actually scared for the first time in this show. He's visibly scared. A man named Calvin walks out from one of the trucks. He uses a megaphone. He says, "Hello, I am Calvin, and I have a simple proposal to make here. Either come with us back to our camp right now, all of you, or we come in and kill each and every one of you." He says this while the music from the loudspeakers is still playing. It's like nice shopping music. And the screen just goes to black as Carver is just staring at this group in silence. He doesn't say a word because he sees the amount of firepower they have and the fact that they are outnumbered, outgunned, and will probably die. Boom, the end of the episode. That's going to lead up nicely into the next one, but I do want to preface what the next episode's going to be because you're probably expecting some big battle episode for the next one. No, that's going to be episode 5. Episode 4 is actually going to explain who this group is and what happened with Luke. We're going to see Luke in the next episode and how he's connected to this group because he will be in some way, shape, or form. We're going to see how this group ends up here, right in front of Carver's, why they end up here, why they're doing these attacks. We're going to learn all that next episode, and episode 5 will actually show this big battle itself, and it's going to be, in my opinion, the best episode so far. So be excited for that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.